Well, I'm here with the Búi Dam, director of Birita. Yeah, this is a real interesting documentary, and the documentary just tackles head on the first question anyone would have about this, about the ethics of putting someone with Alzheimer's on stage. And I was actually talking with Emma off camera a little bit about that, of it's play. Like, she's not digging ditches, so like, really, what's the problem? It's like all of a sudden someone has Alzheimer's and oh no, you can't have fun. You just need to
Yeah,
sit in a dark corner for the rest of your life until it's over.
yeah, exactly. That's what we want to challenge out with this film, definitely.
What so like have you shown this documentary to the family so far, and what was their take on it?
Yeah, absolutely. Also, the family has seen it. I mean, there has been no resistance in the family, and they were very happy and yeah, honored to have this film be made of her. So people are happy with that. It's more when we go out into the public. I mean, we haven't shown the film yet, but we of course the play was performed. There's a different ethic in a family, I think, and then when you go out into the public, things become more black and white, sort of. And people start to see because they don't know the person and they don't know the nuances of the relationships between the people and stuff. And I mean, I understand that you worry, there's a person who can't give their consent, or they can, but they will forget it, 1 minute later. So I understand the worry, absolutely. But that's what this journey was to see if we could push those boundaries, to see if we could change those things, because what people also tend to do with people with dementia is to overprotect them. Is she safe? Is it okay for her to be on stage? Is it okay for her to be, with people? Is it okay for her to work 6 hours a day? Because that's what we did. Is it okay to put her in front of an audience? So all those questions, we were discussing throughout the process of putting up the play. And kind of our guiding light throughout was my mother's joy and happiness of being involved, of being with people, and just realizing how much she remembered in her body, because she couldn't speak, but it was very clear that she knew what she was doing and where she was. So just we were basically guided by that. If she would have been crying and be, unhappy about the process, we would never have done it, of course. So we had the contract that if she says no and becomes unhappy, we will stop the entire project. So that's,
Yeah,
yeah. But absolutely, yeah. People from the outside, they see it and they think it worries them.
yeah, I mean, I would mention like I don't really see the problem, and plus she's surrounded by family, she's surrounded by people that love her, so obviously, like with someone dealing with someone with dementia or Alzheimer's, things are going to happen. But if you're surrounded by people that love you, they can clock that pretty quick and go, hey, you know what?
Yeah,
Stop. We're gonna stop and we'll pick this up later, maybe or maybe not. We'll figure it out.
exactly. Very important. And it was not only us, the closest, my father and me, but it was also all the actors that were involved in the play, for example. They are all, people she has been working with for 20, 30 years. So they are her extended family. And they also, were very kind and tender towards her, to take care of her. So she was in safe hands, absolutely, throughout the process.
Has there been any situations where like she did kind of get confused or scared and you had to back off and then, or maybe like she gets lucid in the middle of doing something, it's like, oh hey, I'm doing this thing. Like what some like peaks and valleys with the whole process?
No, there was one rehearsal day when I think she was tired and she said, stop. She didn't want to do it anymore. And she just left the room and went out. And that day we just stopped rehearsals and that was it. That's one thing. And then there is a scene in the film when she's in front of the mirror and it's quite clear that memories just overwhelm her. A lot of memories come back to her when she's sitting in front of the mirror and having her makeup done. And that was a very emotional moment, I mean, for her and for all of us, because it was very clear that she knew what was going on. And it seemed as if a lot of memories came back. And both the joy of being back, but also the sadness of knowing her situation, kind of those things merged. So that was a very powerful moment. But apart from that, no, I kid you not, she was working 6 hours a day. She's a woman, still is full of energy. So she was working 6 hours, a day, and she was, joyful. Of course, she would get tired sometimes, but there was never, complaint or anger or sadness in the process. No. And that, of course, affected the entire process of everybody involved. So it was a very joyful process.
Yeah. And also, like, one of the beautiful things about this is for you and your family, like, this is like, people can have scrapbooks, they got photo albums, but this is just a snapshot of a part of your life that you get to keep forever.
Yeah.
People are going to come and go, but this is going to be part of your family that will just be unchanged.
Yeah. Which is one of the many reasons which I've made it as well, because I have children and they don't know the actress Birita. So they are quite, young, so they haven't met her before she got ill. So this is also, her legacy to her family, so they know who she was as well.
Yeah. What were some of the challenges like as far as the like behind the scenes filmmaking challenges? Because like, documentaries, there's a lot of work there. Plus you're putting on a play on top of that. So you're doing juggling two things at the same time. What were some challenges like behind the scenes? It was like I didn't quite see that coming. I wish I would have thought of that ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. So I'm in the process, I'm directing the play and the film at the same time. And I'm, one of the subjects in the film. And actually I'm also performing in the play. You don't see that in the film, but so my hands were
You,
very,
you need
very
more you
cold.
need more jobs in here.
So
Not doing enough.
it was really, really intense, of course. And yeah, what were I mean, making a documentary, and this is my first documentary, of course, is a huge challenge because you're looking for a story. You don't have a script at all. So you're looking for a story. So just the biggest challenge I think was to know where to put the camera. What do we follow? What is interesting? And so we generated a lot of material, 150 hours of material we ended up with. So I think that was the main challenge. And the other interesting, fun challenge was that we had the film people and we had the theater people. And the film people, they have higher demands in terms of rider lists. So their food was better, and they were basically treated a bit better than the actors, and that kind of provoked some of the actors. So I think that was like, but it was no huge battle, but that was just fun to see those two worlds meet, and what are the demands. But I think maybe the most challenging part was the editing with so much material coming into that and trying to carve out a 1.5 hour story from 150 hours was incredibly challenging. I ended up, in Mexico City watching all these hours for 3 months and just making notes and then, carving everything down with an editor in Mexico down to 15 hours. And then I met a fantastic editor, Ricardo Acosta, Emmy Award-winning editor, documentary. And he then, together with him, we carved out the film that we have now. And his approach was very much like an actor's approach, actually. He's very intuitive and emotional, is based on feelings, not so mental. I think that was very, very good for this film, because it is an emotional film as well. I mean, there's a lot of emotion as well.
Well, looking on your IMDb, it looks like this is your only film you've directed. You've acted, obviously, and obviously you've directed theater, but this is your first documentary. Is this was this just a one and done? Like this is just a thing I want to do, did this, start a hunger for wanting to do more in the future?
Yeah, definitely. I've just started my next documentary actually, and I'm working on some fiction work as well. So yeah, no, I'm definitely, the Faroe Islands is a very, very small country. So in order to stay busy and earn money here, you need to do many different things. So I'm definitely moving into film and starting to yeah, work there. And also just to get a broader international audience and collaborations as well. Theater is limited in that sense.
Nice. Well, this is premiering at CPH Docs. Do you have any release plans beyond that? Or no, CPH Docs on March 15th, but are there any release plans after that?
No, we're still hoping for distribution. We're of course looking, and it's being shown in the Faroe Islands in April. But apart from that, no, we're still out there looking for people to collaborate with, and very excited to show the film, of course, to people at the CPH docs. That's going to be very interesting just to see the reaction that people will have. So yeah. No, yeah, so that's basically it. And of course, we have a webpage called biritafilm.com if people want to know more about the film.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining me. Before I let you go, I just want to get a movie recommendation from you. Either something that's personal to you or a movie that you think is like, this is really good, not enough people talk about it.
Good one. Ooh, I would say that I saw a fantastic documentary recently, or basically two of them. I just can't remember their names. It's an Italian documentarist. What is it? Gianluca Rossi? Is that his name? Can you give me just 2 seconds? I'll just find
All
it
right.
here. I'll give you a really good recommendation. I think his name is Gianluca Rossi. Franco Rossi, Italian filmmaker. And he made a film called Fire at Sea or On Sea, which is incredible. So that's my recommendation. Gianluca,
All right. Sounds good. What's that?
check out all his films, but yeah, Fire at Sea is fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah, I haven't heard of that, so that's especially exciting. Whenever recommendations like that, I'm like, ooh, never even heard of it. Let's check it out.
Beautiful.
But yeah, congratulations on the film. Really happy for you and your family to just have this in your lives now, and congratulations on that. And hopefully more people see it because I fell in love with you and your family and everything just by watching this.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thank you so much, Erik.
All right, thank you.